Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India, Sri Research Institute, Center for Art, Sciences, and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today is commemorated as World Day of Worship Tools, or also known as Worship of Tools Day in US. Worship of Tools Day is celebrated annually on March 11th. Tools are really the unsung heroes. Unfortunately, we don't give them enough commendation. There are so many different types of tools, and this day is meant to worship each one of them. Like in Indian context, we have Ayudha Puja in Dasara festival, 9 days festival. On the 10th day, we celebrate Dasara, Navaratri. Similar way, this day is also dedicated to worship of tools in US. So upgrade them, organize them, or buy new ones. They come super handy when you need to build or fix something. It's most definitely has to be someone very passionate about their toolkit. In ancient times, humans were able to build tools as simple as knives from rocks. In fact, the screwdriver can be traced back to 1400s and earlier. However, with the advent of technology, there is a surge of creation of modern tools that can almost do a job as good as a machine. A tool is essentially a physical object used to fix or build a thing, and it's hard to imagine a world without tools as part of our daily lives. Right from hammer, screwdriver, or wrench, these tools are essential. However, it is important to keep them clean and sharpened because when they frequently used, they can get blunt or rusted and may not be of any use. It is even important to have a good toolkit to keep the tools in place. Many times we even see the construction workers carrying around the toolkits on sites. Many tool enthusiasts know a good tool when they see one and have their preferred brand or style. Tool lovers end up having an extensive collection of tools, and it's almost like a hobby. There is even a code in tool borrowing and loaning, as they often don't get returned. This phenomenon has been picked up by many sitcoms and shown humorously from time to time. With the ever growing need for tools in our home, it's only right that there is a day dedicated to worshipping these objects, that they play a significant role in our lives. Ancient blacksmiths invent steel by combining iron with charcoal, making it harder and stronger. In 13th century, cast metal scissors, much like the ones we use today, are produced in 1761. Karl Elsner begins the production of Swiss Army knife in Switzerland in 1891. Tool chests make an entry into the world of mass marketing in 20th century. Some common tools that we often use are hammer, wrench, spanner, saws, shovel, knives, etc. Hand tools can be categorized as wrenches, pliers, cutters, file, hammer tools, screwdrivers, vices, clamps, snips, saws, drills, and knives, and so on. Tools can be classified as measuring tools, holding tools, cutting tools, driving tools, and electrical tools, and so on. So clear out your tool shed and treat yourself to a new set of tools. You can either give your tools away to someone who needs them. If not, you can safely discard them in an appropriate manner, ensuring no damage is caused to anyone or anything. Remove your tools from the shed and give them a shine. Check all of them for any rust and clean it out with do-it-yourself tricks and tips. You will be left with a set of tools as good as new. Take up a do-it-yourself home project and use your tools. It could be putting up a photo frame on a wall or making a bookshelf or adding more storage units in your home. Another version of the popular rock, paper, scissors game known as knife, fork, spoon. The plural term for scissors is also scissors. Unfortunately, modern cutting pliers cannot be sharpened. Early hand tools were made from rocks, antlers, animal bones, and volcanic glass. A drilling machine is regarded as the most important power tool. We don't understand the importance of tools in our daily lives. We only realize their need and value when we urgently need to fix something but don't have the right tools for it. Therefore, having a basic toolkit is extremely important and can come in use at any time. Tools are important in fixing almost anything and everything. Even something as simple as inserting a nail in a wall requires a hammer. Tools help you fix broken things and even make new ones. As opposed to popular belief, tools can be used by anyone, not just men. All you need to do is take safety precautions and wear the right equipment while using any tools. Today is also commemorated as World Plumbing Day to honor the critical role plumbing plays in societal health. Plumbing is, after all, the reason our cities and towns are clean. Without proper plumbing, all the human defecation and waste would remain in the city. This would not only render an area unhabitable due to foul smell, but would also result in the spread of fatal diseases that may put an end to the life as we know it. Therefore, on this day, this occasion is marked with events across the world to highlight the importance of good plumbing and sanitation. Plumbing is so important to the world that Albert Einstein is claimed to have declared that if he could do it all over again, he would become a plumber. Plumbing is without a doubt a vital component of every contemporary and developed society. It is critical because a town or city's plumbing must be chosen before any architectural plans are drawn. A town plumbing and sanitation plans must be carefully considered as the future of place is determined by how well thought out the plumbing system is. Since 2010, World Plumbing Day has been observed to recognize the importance of plumbing across the world. The World Plumbing Council is in charge of naming the day with the goal of promoting the relationship between excellent plumbing, health, environmental and sustainability, and increasingly economic prosperity. The World Bank has acknowledged the importance of plumbing It is regarded as the most cost effective of all health treatments, according to them. The World Plumbing Council has pushed up for more adequately trained workers to enter the plumbing business. If the plumbers fail to provide quality services, they will be held accountable. Trained personnel can provide immediate and modern solutions that can improve the overall sanitation system. This is essential because about 1,000 children under the age of 5 die every year from waterborne diarrheal diseases caused by open defecation near waterways. As a result, festivals, tournaments, lectures, and events are held all around the world on March 11 to raise awareness. The first system of pipes to carry water from one place to another is built in the Indus Valley civilization around 2600 BC. For the Queen's House at Richmond Palace, John Harrington invests the first flush toilet in 1596. Alexander Cumming, a Scottish watchmaker and inventor, is the first Englishman to patent flush toilet design, which is still in use today and served as a predecessor to the contemporary toilet in 1775. Alfred Moen, an American inventor, invents the first single-handle mixer tap after being inspired by scorching his hands with hot water from a two-handled faucet in 1937. Every year on April 25th, the country observes National Hug a Plumber Day to honor the men and women who execute the difficult and often unpleasant tasks of maintaining our plumbing systems clean and efficient. Plumbing is used for a system of pipes and fittings built in a structure for distribution and use of potable drinking water as well as the removal of waterborne waste. Plumbers are expensive because the job is not easy and takes months to master. So educate the youth on the importance of plumbing and why they need to work towards adding more to the existing innovations. Plumbing is not as easy as it looks. So learn more about the profession and effort it takes to ensure everything functions properly. The origins of the word plumbing comes from the Latin term plumbum. Flushing the pan consumes 38% of the average US household's water. The Egyptians reportedly called it the house of horror. During the Super Bowl halftime, the toilet is most often flushed. Isaiah Rogers constructed 8 water closets at Boston Tremont Hotel, making it the first hotel to utilize the indoor plumbing. Plumbing is important so cities remain clean and diseases are controlled. The purpose of the day is emphasized with particular points. Today is also commemorated as World Day of Muslim Cultural Peace Dialogue and Film, which is celebrated on March 11th. This is a special observance used to highlight the beauty of Muslim culture instead of relying on word of mouth. This day seeks to provide some insight to better understand Islam through its culture, dialogue, and film. These day events aim to build bridges of understanding between faiths, regardless of denomination, and to help accurately portray Muslim culture. It was created by the writer and producer Javed Mohammed from the San Francisco Bay Area. He is also founder of My Favorite Review. On March 11, 2010, he declared the day a special observance dedicated to informing, sharing, and discussing the Muslim culture. Javed hoped to use art, culture, and film to create a link open the forum for dialogue with the hope of giving insight into and help people understand the Muslim culture regardless of religious dominations. Globally, more than 1 billion Muslims follow the Islamic faith regardless of age, race, or culture. So this day creates and spreads cultural awareness about Islam, and it highlights facets of Muslim culture that media fails to portray. The word Islam means to submit oneself to the will of Allah. Muslims worldwide are monotheist. Like Christians, they worship and believe in only one God. That's why we see there is a lot of conflicts among these religions because they do not believe in other and they do not respect others' culture and other gods. That's why there is a constant conflict between other belief systems and religions. Because when we are human beings, we need to respect each other, whether we believe it or not. At least we have to have that mutual respect towards other religions and belief systems. Then only they will also appreciate our religion. When we do not appreciate their religion, they will also not appreciate our religion. It is not that one religion enforces other religion. This is not a kind of proper connotation for this day, as this day speaks more about peace. So peace dialogue. So it should promote peace, and a dialogue should always lead to peace. This week is also commemorated in different ways. Like this week is commemorated as Nutrition and Hydration Week from March 11th to 17th in UK, held every third full week in March. It takes place from 11th to 17th. This year, this was shifted to June in 2021 because the strains of health and social care services at that time. Its goal is to raise awareness about the important role food and drink plays in preserving our well-being in the social and health care setting. The goal of Nutrition and Hydration Week is to connect with healthcare practitioners working in medical, catering, and care settings and to use their knowledge to create a fantastic campaign that everyone can get behind. Roughly 3 million individuals are facing the risk of malnutrition in the United Kingdom and many more internationally. The global community needs to explore chances to raise awareness about the dangers and encourage good practices that can help combat malnutrition and dehydration. Preventing malnutrition and dehydration promotes health and well being while also reducing pressure on health and social care systems in the treatment and assistance of persons who are malnourished or dehydrated. As the public health situation becomes more complex and budget becomes tighter, Nutrition and Hydration Week remains a viable means of health intervention. Nutrition and Hydration Week strives to emphasize, advocate, and celebrate local, national, and global advancements in the management of nutrition and hydration. The commemoration began with the emphasis on improving nutrition and hydration in health and social care settings, but it also has since evolved. Nutrition and Hydration Week has attracted so many different groups and industries in recent years that everyone is now invited and encouraged to participate in prioritizing and endorsing nutrition and hydration during this week. This week is also commemorated as Turkey Vultures Return to the Living Sign Week in Turkey from March 11 to 17, which occurs in this period. Turkey vultures scatters across North America return to the popular sign in Kennesaw, New York. The living sign of the city's name is made up of over 250 Scottish pines, and around the same time in March every year. March 11 to 17, to be exact, turkey vultures return to roast around it with no particular origin. A week such as this is bound to be packed with intriguing information. Uncommon as they may sound, turkey vultures are most widespread among the New World vultures family. Commonly found in the North American region, these birds are scavengers that come to rest in Scottish pines of Kennestow, New York. We are sure you might still be wondering why exactly the bird is named in such a fashion, and that it is because turkey like features, just like the male wild turkey. Turkey vultures have bald red heads and dark feathers. However, just like the vultures you are familiar with, turkey vultures feed exclusively on the carcass of other animals. Today is also commemorated as 311 Day in US. The 311 system is exactly for that, and it helps residents report issues, find out about city services, and solve queries when we have a legitimate question, but it does not fall under the emergency criteria. 311 has evolved into a multi channel service that connects citizens with the government. The proliferating technology now also provides a wealth of data that improve how cities are run. Baltimore was the first city to bring 311 into works as a police non-emergency number in January 1999, followed by Chicago, which was quick to jump onto the bandwagon and initiate the first comprehensive 311 system, providing information and tracking city services from intake to resolution. Today is also commemorated as Adelaide Cup Day in Australia. The Adelaide Cup Day Australia is celebrated on the second Monday of March every year and is also known as a March public holiday. So this year it takes place on March 11th. In South Australia is the day when Adelaide Cup Day race occurs and has been an important part of Australia's landscape for centuries. The Adelaide Cup Day is a race by South Australian Jockey Club for Group 2 through bred horses. The race course is second oldest horse race in Australia next to Melbourne Cup. An important race, it brings together the best race jockeys and horses from southern South Australia and sometimes even some of the northern states. So the Adelaide Cup Australia is a national holiday in southern Australia celebrated on the second Monday of March every year. While the holiday was instituted more recently, the race itself has been part of Australian culture for centuries. This cup is a South Australian Jockey Club horse for Group 2 thoroughbred horses. Group races, also known as pattern races, are some of the highest level races for thoroughbred horses in the world. There are about 550 group races in Australia, while the Adelaide Cup used to be Group 1 race like Melbourne Cup. It has now become a Group 2 race. The minimum prize money for a Group 2 horse race is $175, $1,000 Australian dollars. The prize money for the Adelaide Cup Australia is 4 lakh Australian dollars. Today is also commemorated as Commonwealth Day in Australia, Canada, India, New Zealand, UK, and rest of the world. Commonwealth Day is an annual mobile day that falls regularly on the second Monday in March, which takes place on March 11th. The day is marked with a service attended by the British royal family at Westminster Abbey, and much celebration occurs globally in Commonwealth states. The historic event is a holiday in some of its states and honors the history of the group. It promotes a peaceful global environment and homes to inspire the Commonwealth states for the future with a yearly address by Queen Elizabeth. But nowadays it's no more much practiced in many of them because there are no longer colonial colonies. But in celebrations happen in very limited places. Today is also commemorated as Commonwealth Day in Canada. It was to renew international cooperation, Commonwealth solidarity, and to address the global issues of the more than 2 billion people that constitute the nations of former British colonies. First observed as Empire Day, the day was later renamed as Commonwealth Day, and Canada, still a constitutional monarchy, celebrates Commonwealth Day with great enthusiasm. The Royal Union flag is hoisted at federal establishments, and families gather to hear the message of unity and intercontinental solidarity from the Queen. Today is commemorated as Debunking Day in US. In a large, fast-paced world like ours, it's easy for information to be misconstrued and lost in falsities. A day like this helps us gain a little more clarity to some of the myths and false news we hear every day. The originator, Rob Brezzi, sees himself as a master of curiosity who is on a mission to save people from the genocide of imagination. Debunkers exist to challenge false information and provide more clarity to the world. A debunker is a person who discredits false or suspicious claims. These claims are sometimes controversial, such as UFO sightings and conspiracy theories, or can be seemingly smaller, like sea salt is healthier than table salt. Whatever the case may be, debunkers helps us expose and put a stop to the spread of false information. Today is also commemorated as Earth's God birthday in Taiwan, which falls on 15th day of 8th lunar month as per Chinese calendar and is chiefly celebrated in Taiwan. The Earth God, also known as Tudigong or Tudishen, is among various Earth deities of Taoism. He is the lord of the soil and the ground. Tudigong is known for his generosity, which is why many devotees visit temples dedicated to him on his birthday to seek his blessings. The devotees worship Tudigong by lighting incense sticks and offering food, wine, and flowers. It is believed that Tudigong's benediction brings harmony and abundance to a community. Today is also commemorated as 8 Hours Day in Australia. It is another name for Labor Day, which is celebrated on different days across the world to honor all the working people who have collectively stood up for their rights. 8 Hours Day is a commemoration of Australian labor movement, which began in the 1800s and included unions as well as political groups. It was instigated by the skilled tradesmen who refused to work long hours and demanded an 8-hour day. They protested till their employees came to the negotiation table and achieved their goals. Today is also commemorated as Independence Restoration Day in Lithuania. This day depicts the declaration of independence of Lithuania from the Soviet Union on March 11, 1990. It is often mistaken for restoration of the state day on February 16th. The difference between 2 days is that Independence Restoration Day celebrates independence from the Soviet Union, while Restoration of the State Day celebrates independence from German rule. Lithuanians commemorate Independence Restoration Day celebrations with parades, concerts, and museum exhibitions. Today is also commemorated as Deer Awareness Day, Key Deer Awareness Day in US, to help raise awareness about the endangered key deer. These tiny relatives to the Virginia white-tailed deer are only found in Florida Keys, which is what influenced their name. The species is under significant threat due to poaching, habitat loss, vehicular accidents, illness, and climate change, spurring the creation of day especially to raise awareness about this cause among the public. As for the date, it was specially selected to commemorate the day key deer was given endangered status on Federal Register in 1967. Today is also commemorated as Moshoi Shu's Day, birthday in Lesotho, to mark the birth of Moshosho. Moshishu was a leader of Basotho people. He helped to establish Basotho nation, which would later become the modern day of Lesotho. He was the country's first king and is known for the efforts he made to establish and maintain the sovereignty of his people from nearby threats. Because his exact date of birth is unknown, Moshushu Day falls on the anniversary of his death in 1870. Born around 1776, Morona Moshosho I was the Letho's first king. Today is also commemorated as National COVID-19 Day, which is celebrated on March 11th of each year. This was the day that the World Health Organization declared it a global pandemic. The goal of establishing this day is to take a moment to halt, reflect, remember, and gather together as a community to inspire one another to hope for better days ahead. Nothing speaks more powerfully about the human spirit than resilience. And resilience is what shines through all of the sadness and mind numbing exhaustion of the COVID 19 pandemic. The inaugural nation COVID 19 is observed on the March 11, 2021. However, Jamie Atten of the Humanitarian Disaster Institute proclaimed the day a special observance since 2020. The Humanitarian Disaster Institute was able to hold this event by collaborating with global organizations such as World Vision and WOMO. The date of March 11 was chosen since that is when World Health Organization designated COVID-19 a global pandemic. It is a bittersweet observance because it attempts to remember those lost to the epidemic while also bringing together those who survived the waves. Furthermore, this day is not notable for its humanitarian attitude, which attempts to express appreciation to all volunteers and service providers who assisted those in need while accounting to support those who are still affected by the pandemic and its aftermath. Today is also commemorated as National Dream Day in US. Chase Your Dreams on National Dream Day, celebrated annually on March 11. This day was created to make everyone, both old and young, realize that they can build and go after their dreams. It is inspired by the Millennium Man, Robert Mueller, and is celebrated on his birthday every year. The Dream School Foundation, whose sole mission is to make every child dream comes true, started the holiday especially for children, although it inspires all ages. Today is also commemorated as National Funeral Director and Mortician Recognition Day in US. It gives us the opportunity to honor these noble professionals that are plying their trade all across the US. Planning a funeral is a sombre and upsetting experience for those unfortunate enough to lose a loved one. And it takes empathetic and understanding funeral directors and morticians to make the whole process a little more bearable. Without their efforts, our loved ones wouldn't get the send off they deserve, and their passing would be an even more distressing experience. Today is also commemorated as National Heroes and Benefactors Day in Belize. This day was named after Henry Edward Ernest Victor Bliss, a Portuguese lord. He had given nearly 2 million Belize dollars, a significant percentage of his riches, to a trust fund established by the colony of British Honduras, now Belize. The fund was later used to help Belizeans by constructing a public library museum, nursing homes, clinics, and markets. The funds have also been used to upgrade the city's water supply system. So, a huge thank you to the parents' generous charity. This day honors Baron Bliss, an Englishman who left a bulk of his fortune to the service of the Belizean people. Henry Edward Ernest Victor Barrett was his birth name. He was later given the title of fourth Baron Bliss of the former kingdom of Portugal by an ancestor. He earned sufficient wealth to be able to spend the later years of his life abroad, his yacht fishing and sailing in the Caribbean Sea. Today is also commemorated as National Immune System Day in US. Your immune system took on the job of your bodyguard, yet despite its relentless service, it has never received paid time off or a vacation. It has been on duty 24 by 7, non-stop, working 3 daily shifts and rarely receives a simple thank you. Today is also commemorated as National Napping Day in US. Ever feel jet lagged after daylight savings? It's a perfect day to help you recuperate from the spring forward. Don't doze off. As I tell you this, I promise this won't be a news fest. Napping is actually scientifically proven to be better for you than coffee or energy drinks. So now you can feel less guilty about enjoying this not so guilty pleasure. You may have the lost that extra hour. Today is also commemorated as National No Code Day in US. It celebrates individuals, business, and other networks that create and automate without using code. Started by the no code automation leader Zapier, the day aims to promote the no code movement and create awareness for business and organizations to be more without code. No code tells tools allow anyone to automate workshop. Today is also commemorated as National Oatmeal Nut Waffles Day in US. These delicious waffles are made with whole grain and chopped nuts mixed in a waffle recipe, a much healthier start to your morning. Today is also commemorated as National Patent Slaymaker Day in US on March 11th every year and is named in the honor of Claypool, Indiana native patent slaymaker who succumbed to a rare form of brain cancer at the age of 10 in 2020. Today is also commemorated as National Proposal Day in US. The proposal or the proposal is the act of asking your boo to prom in a super elaborate way. Was invented in 2001. As far as we can tell, proposal history can get a little fuzzy. While the proposal has been around forever, National Proposal Day was officially established by Men's Warehouse in 2016. As a certified proposal enthusiast, were personally Today is also commemorated as National Sofrito Day in US. Sofrito is a condiment that is commonly used as a basis for meals in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Other components such as garlic, tomatoes, onions, peppers, and cilantro are combined with herbs and spices. Sofrito, Sofrito has been a staple of Latin and Caribbean culture for generations. Other countries such as France and Italy have picked up on the culture. People share recipes on National Sofrito Day. Some attend seminars and cookouts where the victor is crowned king or queen of Africa and their recipes shared with others. Today is also commemorated as Tarnaki anniversary in New Zealand. This day celebrates the founding day of the province of Tarnaki in New Zealand. Tarnaki anniversary is observed on the second Monday in March every year. The day is dedicated not to coincide with Easter. Tarnaki province is no longer applicable as the authorities abolished provinces in 1896. It is also commemorated as Wash Your Nose Day in US, and it's an important health and pro-personal hygiene event. Falls on March 11th every year. It was created by Exler, a leading xylitol-based sinus and dental care company, to highlight the importance of sinus flushing. Ex- Today is also commemorated as Zongyi Festival in China. The Zongyi Festival is a Chinese tradition that has been celebrated from many countries, and this year it will be marked on March 11th. This festival takes place on the first day of second month of Chinese lunar calendar. This day it falls on February of March. This week is also commemorated as National Fix a Leak Week and National Clean Out Your Closet Week. It's also commemorated as National Button Week in US, which is celebrated during the third week of March in the honor of buttons and their unique place in our history. This year it takes place from March 11 to 18, from holding the ends of our clocks together and bringing a tiny color of to our outfits to being great for an arts and crafts. Buttons fill our world with beauty and we are so thankful for them. The week was considered by National Button Society to improve, promote presence and honor the rich history of buttons. Week-long exhibits are organized by button enthusiasts are the unique forms of buttons exploited across the nation. So with this, today is also commemorated, this week is also commemorated as Brain Awareness Week. This week aims to foster public health enthusiasm and a support for brain service. These neurons are the information messengers that transmitted from between brain, and we have so much more to discover than learn about the brain. Research allows you us to understand biology and body function there, which empowers medical professionals to find ways to prevent or treat brain, nervous system, and body problems. This is exactly what Brain Week aims to achieve. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls before leaving the platform. Thank you all. See you tomorrow. Take care. Good night.